Welcome. My name is Gena Timberman, and you are listening to Timber People, a podcast about people who, like timber, are strong, build and create, who gather us together like fuel that feeds fire. People who support structures of our community that uplift and protect. Halito, welcome to the show. What an honor and a gift it is today. I'm blessed to welcome my friends, Barbara Harjo and Dr. Mariah Ashbacher to the show. Welcome.
Thank you,
Gena, for
Thank
having
you very
us.
much. Glad to be here.
Oh, Barbara, you and I have been friends for many years. We have so many stories, more stories than we have time for in hours of podcasts. So I'm just so happy that we can come together to talk about a very special month and also something that's very near and dear to our hearts. And Mariah, Dr. Ashbacher, is the adjunct professor of art history at OU School of Visual Arts. And I really feel I'm just so blessed and honored that I was invited to be on the board of directors for the Benjamin Harjo Jr. Artist Fund, which is a nonprofit organization that will honor Benjamin Harjo Jr.'s, the late, great, awesome kitty kisses, extreme love of Barbara's life, and the Indian Picasso. Ben, who was absentee, Shawnee, and Seminole. This board and the mission of the fund is to honor his life and legacy. And I can't wait to get into the love and generosity, Barbara, that you and Ben envisioned with this foundation. It's really cool, and I love how it carries on that heritage of supporting Indigenous artists. And Mariah, I'm so grateful that we have a website now that you have worked so hard on creating the content and working with others to have it up. And we're in a really special month with September, when Ben would have been 80 years old. Yes. And so with that, Barbara, would you like to talk about why this time is so important? And I also we'll circle back, come full circle on that, but I want to talk about the days when this vision emerged, as the strong relationships with artists that you and Ben had in the community.
When Ben and I first married, I worked a real job, and we laugh about that. I worked.
Now you're just working 4 real jobs too.
But at one point, I realized that in order for him to progress and become what he needed to become to reach his potential, that somebody needed to crack the whip and be in charge. And I took that position. But we always worked together. We worked always together. And one of the things that we promised each other is that if we had a good show, that we would spend 10% of what we made at that show on other artists so that we could support them. And we also found that there were times when artists couldn't afford to have a room for Indian market because it's expensive, or pay a booth fee, or buy supplies, or even sometimes we had artists that came to live with us for several months until their life kind of got straightened out. And we just felt like that was our obligation in the art community, was to support what we could. We got a lot of support from our collectors. We were very fortunate. We always felt that we were blessed in that respect. And we wanted to pass it along as much as we could. And we did when we could. When Ben passed away, Jackie Sevier and Dr. Gary McNeil. Gary is Ben's brother from another mother.
Right.
And Jackie was one of his friends that he felt very close to. They wanted to start a 501c3 that would support artists and carry on Ben's legacy in that respect. So they put it together. They put it out there. John Yokel, who's a very dear friend and collector of Ben's art, and his daughter Jennifer wrote the initial paperwork to get it going as a 501c3. And so that was their contribution. And John is still on our advisory board, as I am. They started having problems trying to get, not everybody's as really tech savvy that's on the board. We're old people.
Well, I do want to insert Jane Austen as well.
Oh, yes.
The beginning of that.
Yes.
Our amazing
So cool.
Cherokee treasure and potter.
I love that artists are involved as well as friends, collectors, associates.
Yes. Jane Austen and Karen Walkingstick were both on the board.
Right.
We're blessed to have you, Gena,
Thank you.
and Virgil Harry, who's a collector, Gary McNeil, he's still on the board, Tracy Rabbit, who Ben and I, she refers to us as uncle and aunt,
Right.
and has since she was a little girl. I've watched her grow up, and I'm so happy that she's on the board. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
When Mariah, who's been just a blessing to this board, she's so tech savvy. I said, we need somebody who can put together a website. And that was the only thing that I was going to ask of her. And somehow she got Ricky-Dood into being not only doing the website, but now she's secretary of the board, and she's this powerhouse.
You're the great organizer of us all and sending out the reminders, and I greatly appreciate that.
I joke about how that's my spiritual gift. I'm a Christian, but I joke that organization is my spiritual gift.
Oh, you can have many spiritual gifts.
That's my spiritual gift.
You have a list of them.
But through you, we've also gained a new board member, our friend Lori.
Yes.
And we're excited about that. I know she keeps telling me, I don't know how I can, be good for this board, but I know that she will be. We're excited about having her on the board and building the board. We've also had an incredible gift from the OVAC and Allied Arts.
So great.
That have provided us with materials to make our board strong.
Essential
good.
mentorship.
Exactly. And tell us about OVAC, what Rebecca has done for us.
Oh, Rebecca Kinslow at OVAC. She, we met with her just to get some guidance on being a baby foundation and to giving grants to artists, which is what they do directly. And she went above and beyond. Besides just advising us, she created all of these documents for us to help us with our application process, to help us with so many, I can't think of it off the top of my head. So many, our volunteers, yes, that will help us with our application process. So many things that she just went into the meeting already having prepared for us. And she said, oh, well, I will give you this. I will give you this. It was amazing. We just sat there stunned that day at her generosity.
Well, not only that, but the generosity of Sunny from Allied Arts, who provided us with 2 huge binders full of board information on how to develop a board, how to run a board, what board members were responsible for. So
she led us to the Oklahoma Center for Nonprofits.
Exactly. And that was a blessing that came from a relationship from Ben. That prior to his passing, Allied Arts wanted to have Ben create an image that they could use to fundraise. And they ended up, they asked him if he would create this image, and that they do like 1,100 prints of it and sell those at a specific price and raise money. And I knew that he was sick and was not possibly able to do that. But he walked those girls out to their car, and he said, "I'll do it. I'll take care of it." And he did it. He signed them and created the image. To my knowledge, it's one of the largest fundraisers that Allied Arts did, with one of the images that they do every year. Sunny she's one of the most giving. Oh my God, I love her.
We love Sunny. I've known Sunny a long time from our TRDC days, and she's awesome.
She just so giving.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Ben actually passed before he was able to see the fundraising happen. That was their 2024 campaign?
Right. It was, it was the,
I think it was 23, 24.
Something like that. But so he did not see what was earned from his labor. But they did a good job. He managed what he had promised them he would do. And it was not an easy thing for him to do.
Right. Well, that's a testimony to his friendships, his relationships like yours, and those responsibilities and commitment and that generosity and care for the community. And that spills over into that care and concern and commitment that Indigenous arts will continue to be supported, even if at times for some that financial, isn't there. And so, which can be a major barrier. So that's so important. And that's an incredible way to perpetuate and to uplift and celebrate that legacy.
I know the word that I use to encompass Ben when I think about that is loyalty.
Right.
He was loyal to the artistic community, like she's saying, with the artists that they tried to help, upcoming artists that needed help, but he was loyal to Indian country. He was loyal to his friends and family. Like, he was so loyal.
Absolutely.
And his word was his bond, as they say.
I was so happy this year to chair the FAM Gala, and that an honoring award was named in his honor, and just is really incredible and fitting. Your support of the First Americans Museum, you and Ben. I still look back at the very beginning, at those days, and we couldn't have completed that project, and it really wouldn't be the project that it is today without people like you guys.
There were a lot of people that were instrumental in making sure that project got completed, and but Ben always believed in it. Anything that anybody asked him to do, he was always willing to do. He pitched in. I can remember that when Joseph Erb got a commission for the FAM, he was so excited. He really believed that he was the best person for it, even though Ben had applied for that commission. Ben wasn't a jealous person. He wasn't petty. He was always accepting. He always paid tribute to those that came before him, that paved the way. He believed that he needed to put his time in and give. Ben always said that he didn't invent the wheel. He just turned it in a different direction.
Ben did invent some experiences, like when we were doing that art project with the baby diapers and things. Ben had so much playfulness with his creativity, along with joy and smiles for miles. And, Indian Market for me personally really isn't the same without him there. But it's such a, really have so many wonderful memories of being with you guys there and so many others. And I know that spirit of that generosity and love and kindness live on in some fun and meaningful ways still.
Ben was a trickster.
Right.
and his sometimes you would like shocked by it, but for the most part, he was always, if Ben said, come with me, follow me, I'll show you something, they'd get in their car and they'd follow him. And he would show them something.
Right.
And it would always be, oh my gosh, I can't believe I miss this.
Yeah.
Ben was rare.
That's a good word to describe
Absolutely.
Ben.
It's a beautiful way to describe him.
He was a rare gem for sure. I would think about what you were saying about him not being jealous or petty. He also believed like there are accolades to go around. There are collectors to go around. There's money to go around. And I personally have believed, I've expressed to Barbara many times, if it wasn't for her, I think he would be dirt broke because he would want to just make art and give it. Oh, you like it? Here, have it.
Right.
You know,
That was his
many
way.
times my children, he gave to my children. My son was at the Academy of Contemporary Music at UCO downtown, and Ben said, oh, I have a resource for him. He'll love this, and gave him a thing of native music. And, you know, I mean, that's what he did. He just gave. There's enough to go around.
He really did. And also instilling that sense of friendship and confidence in other artists. I mean, there are a number of people who have told me what that has meant for them as emerging artists. And I love that on the site that we have that, you know, I have to say this. Imagine pouring your heart and soul into creating something beautiful, a piece of art that carries generations of stories, heritage, and identity. Now imagine that very creation is held back by an invisible barrier, money. Mm-hmm. And just that, you know, oftentimes, or maybe some people may just attend a market anywhere, and an art market, and that it's pop up a table and put your artwork out, but there's so much that goes into preparing for that. And we hear every year the artists are, you know, they go underground to finish, you know, their pieces before they go to market. But, you know, having their families coming with them, and the food and the gas and the lodging and the, you know, there's so many barriers. Mm-hmm. And for this really beautiful and just appropriate way during the month of September, I know that there are not only opportunities for artists to go onto the site and to apply for a grant, but also to meet our goal of raising $80,000 to change the lives of Native artists across the country.
Yes. So in September, we're kicking off in honor of Ben's birthday. We're kicking off our giving campaign, which is $80,000 for 80 in honor of Ben's 80th birthday. And we've got a very talented web person that is coming on to help us, Brooke Rouge, and setting it all up. So you'll be able to go onto our website and give any amount. It's safe, secure through donor box. And, you know, we're just hoping that people will want to give, because like you said, you go to art market, it's much more than just setting up your tent or setting up your booth. I remember Barbara telling me stories about how artists would have to bring their children. They don't have childcare to leave their children behind. They have to bring the whole family. Right. And Barbara would make sandwiches and pass out sandwiches to these, you know, children, or spend a little money to let them get an ice cream while they're just letting their parents earn a living. You know, these children that was not what they would choose to be there at Indian Market. They want to be playing with their friends. But to go to any of the markets, not just Santa Fe Indian Market, which is the most well-known, but to go to any of the markets is a hardship for, you know, as you said, your gas, your accommodation. Sometimes you pay for parking. You have, of course, upfront your booth fees. Sometimes you have application fees even before that, just to be able to go. And so what is coming up on our website soon is the ability to give electronically, but also we're very excited. We're opening up our application process for artists to apply to us to receive the first grant. We're hoping by herd market, before that, to give our first grant for an artist to attend herd market. That's
So
what
awesome.
we're hoping for.
That's fantastic. What is the website if one wants to visit the website and keep up with it?
It's Benjamin Harjo Jr. Fund.org.
That's awesome. Thank you. And also we have a Facebook page, right?
Yes. I believe that's the same, Benjamin Harjo Jr. Artist Fund. And we make a lot of posts about Ben. For example, Memorial Day. A lot of people don't know that Ben served. He served in Vietnam.
Right.
And so, and actually it was his service in Vietnam that gave him the GI Bill that helped him go to school at OSU, which is his alma mater. He was very loyal to OSU. He's been honored there many times.
I love it.
And there's some posts up there. And very soon we'll be announcing the launch of our new website and our call for artists to apply.
I'm just really happy that his legacy and honor for his life lives on in this way. And Barbara, I know that you are so hardworking and in any facet that you engage in. And I just want to say thank you for being my friend, you're like my cat spirit
Kitty
sister.
kisses, you're my gal. I love you. You know that.
I love you. And Mariah, I'm just so grateful to be engaged with you in this important endeavor. And I can't wait for all of the fun and important work that we're going to accomplish on this journey. And I want to thank you both so much for being on the show. Yakoki.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you, Gena.
Yakoki, thank you for joining us. Timber People is brought to you by the Possibilities Podcast platform.